You guys gave me so much love on the last penne vodka recipe, telling me how much you guys enjoyed it. I thought we'd make it again, except this time we're gonna make it spicy. So let's just jump right into it. This recipe is going to be inspired by Mario Carbone's spicy vodka rigatoni from his New York City restaurant Carbone. He's an amazing Italian chef and has a lot of great Italian restaurants in the city. But this is one of the dishes he's most well known for. And since we already have a great penne vodka recipe, might as well make it spicy with the addition of a fan favorite here on another cooking show, Calabrian chilies. Besides the chilies, there's gonna be two main differences to how I make this recipe versus my original penne vodka. That recipe has prosciutto, which I'm not gonna be using today, and I'm going to be using onion today, which I didn't use in the last recipe. And that's just to show variations in how you can sort of modify these recipes to suit your tastes, and because that's how Carbone does it. It's gonna be really straightforward, sort of like a recap on how to make vodka sauce, but we're gonna make it spicy. I'll leave a link down to my original penne vodka video down in the description. Otherwise, just follow along while we get this done. So I want to think about the shape because I don't want too long of an onion slice with the size and shape of the pasta that I'm using. We're using a smaller sort of like elbow rigatoni. So I want to maybe cut this, slice this down the middle, and then I'll have these like quarter moons, I guess. These little tiny half strips that are going to sit on the fork nicely. Now, if you want a super spicy sauce, you can leave these seeds and everything in the Calabrian chilies, but I don't want them too spicy, so I remove them before I dice them up real fine. Now, Carbone doesn't use penne. He uses this sort of elbow rigatoni. It's properly pronounced chiocciole. The CH is a hard k, the C is a softer C. We've got our tomato sauce that we made a few weeks ago. We've got our cream, we've got our vodka, and we've got some cheese. Now, I'm hungry. I don't know about you. Let's go make this stuff. Now get a large pan preheated over medium-high heat and coat the bottom of the pan with olive oil. And once it's hot, add the onion and season them. I've also got a pot of water coming up to a boil while we make this sauce. Once the onions are softened, add the basil and the garlic. Get those worked in for a minute and then add the Calabrian chilies and a little bit of chili flake. The amount of the spice I'm going to leave up to you because that's based off what you like and what you can handle. Now get those worked in, and once everything is nicely softened, it's time to add the vodka. Now we know vodka is flammable, so we like to shut the heat off before we add it, just to be safe. Get it in there and then let it reduce. We're gonna pop the heat back on, and oh, you see that? You gotta be careful, right? It's okay, shut the heat back off, let it burn off. As long as the flames aren't reaching the ceiling, you'll be fine. Blow it out. Once the alcohol is sort of burned off, you get the heat back on, and you wanna reduce it till there's almost nothing left. Once it's reduced, add the tomatoes. Add some salt, and now begins this act of reducing and concentrating the tomatoes beyond a tomato sauce consistency. As far as the temp goes, I'm going as high as I can without the sauce spitting all over the kitchen. I'll adjust the heat until it's simmering with these tiny little bubbles and it's controlled and it's not making a big mess. If it's spitting for you, just adjust the heat. At this point, the basil has done its job, so we can remove it. And we want to get this tomato sauce thick and intense in flavor before we add the cream. We'll use a flat bottom spoon to gauge over time how thick and concentrated the sauce is becoming. Like you can see here, the sauce isn't holding the line, so it's got to reduce further. That's sort of at a minimum how thick you're gonna want it. You can go further. But that's good for now. We're gonna go in with the pasta, get some salt in the pasta water, and then dump in the pasta. Now I know this pasta is going to take 10 minutes to cook, so I'm going to cook it for 8 minutes and then cook it in the sauce for the final 2 minutes in order to get the perfect al dente. Always make sure you stir your pasta once it goes in, otherwise it can stick together. Now while the pasta cooks, we have more time to continue to reduce the sauce, and it's looking really nice. I think we can add the cream now. So we're going to turn the heat off, holding that line real well. We can go ahead and we can add that cream. This cream's at room temperature. You really don't want to add cold cream to this mixture or it could break. We're going to add some cold butter and we're going to melt that in slowly, and it's going to give this beautiful glossy sheen to the sauce. And then make sure you scrape the sides off, all that concentrated flavor, and work that back into the sauce. And we're going to just drain that pasta really well, and we're going to add it into the pan directly into the sauce. At this point, the pasta should still be about a minute or two away from being perfectly al dente. Now you always see me finishing pasta in a pan like this, and if it's too much for you to handle tossing it together and not making a mess, then just throw it into the big pot. I only show you in a pan because it's much easier for you to see. I don't have these tall walls, but it's perfectly fine to finish all your pastas into a large pot without trying to jam it all into a smaller pan. Finish it on the heat or put a lid on to finish steaming it through. Do a final seasoning check and you're ready to plate. I love vodka sauce. This one's great because it's got spice. A little bit of spice kind of makes you sweat a little bit, but you're not dying. Of course, you can control the heat, but if you don't like spicy, just make regular penne vodka. One thing I may have done is under-season it. I think I forgot to season it at the final stage, but you can always add more cheese. It's a form of seasoning. And there you have it, spicy penne vodka. Grab your Hate Less, Cook More sweatshirts. It's hoodie season. You get that little nip in the air, you know, that little chill. You want to put a hoodie on. So, link in the description. Make sure you hit my Teespring Not Another Cooking Show link. All of the links on the internet are frauds. We've had some issues. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thanks to all my patrons scrolling up on the screen, supporting this show. If you'd want to become a patron, get your name scrolling up on the screen here. There's a link on the screen and in the description as well. You can help support the show. I'd be forever grateful. That's all that I have today. I'll see you next time. Until then, take care of yourself and go feed yourself.